Good morning, this is Germán Llanos. I'm the managing broker of 24-Hour Real Estate. And today I want to talk to you about how to win a bidding war as a buyer. We work with sellers, we work with buyers. When we work with buyers, up to pretty much not so long ago, up to 8 months ago, when working with buyers, we usually send them a number of properties for people to take a look. And we usually, between the buyer and our agents, ourselves, we identify somewhere between 8 to 12 properties. Good matches, that close to their place of work, schools, highways, parks, restaurants, family, anything that is close to and important for the buyer, right? So once we usually do that, then we analyze a little bit further and then identify probably 3 properties that are the top 3 for our buyers, and then we start sending offers, negotiating back and forth like Pitbulls, because we're very rough negotiating, and then we get this amazing deal for our buyers, and then the whole process, loan, closing, right? Lately, within the last 12 months, that's something that it hasn't been going so well, because there's something called low inventory right now. There's not so many properties for people to choose, and even when someone get one property, there's like a multiple offer situation, and they start asking for highest and best offers, and many times prices go over the listing price, and people are feeling frustrated, because this lack of inventory, right? So today in this video, I want to give you 6 strategies that you can use in your negotiation process, and I think that they're definitely going to help you out to win the property that you want. Okay. So the first tip that I have for you is that pricing is everything, right? By the end of the day, you need to think that as a seller, the bottom line is the most important part. Okay. If the seller gets their bottom line, they're happy. If they don't, well, so just think about, for a seller, like if you're a seller, and then your broker, we put you on the table 5 offers to choose, or 15, or like right now in Texas, that we have a situation with 40 different offers for a single property. So the seller is gonna say, which one, by the end of all the expenses, nets me more to my pocket? So he's gonna look for something called the bottom line, right? He's gonna look for his own bottom line. That's very important, okay? So pricing is important. Make sure that your offer is competitive, okay? So sometimes, before you were able to negotiate, when there's buyer's market, you are able to negotiate, you're able to knock down the price. When it's seller's market, you need to be more conscious about competition and how aggressive are the other people that you're competing against, okay? So that's one thing. Second thing that I recommend is when you submit the offer, make sure to mention to your broker that you're flexible with the dates. So just imagine that the person that are selling, they're moving to a different property, or they're moving out of the state, whatever the situation is, they are going into some stress, right? So you want to make sure to tell them, hey, listen, we're flexible. If you need a couple of more weeks, we're here to help. Number 3, about waiving contingencies. Okay, this is a little tricky, okay? So contingencies are things that you as a buyer that you can probably get off the contract, okay? So an inspection, something very easy that's gonna make your offer look very strong, is if you offer an offer that is as is. What does it mean? Is that it means that you're gonna do your inspection, and if there's any structural issues, you're gonna say, I'm not buying, and you cancel the deal and you can move on with your life. If the roof is too messed up, or let's say something like in the basement there's cracks and there's constantly seepage and leaks, or the foundation, the foundation struggles and there's a structural damage in the property. You don't want to buy the property because you may not be able to repair it, or it might be too expensive, right? So you can get away for those structural issues with your inspection, but you're not gonna ask, let's say, stupid stuff like many people say, like oh yeah, sometimes like the appliances are old, or the compressor is already 12 years old but it still works. Some people ask money for those things, or change the outlets, or change the bulbs, or maybe one window is broken and you ask for credit for $3,000, So just tell them, listen, we're gonna be conscious structurally. Of course, we're gonna call it and we're gonna see if it's worth it or not. If there are termites, that type of thing, the big things. But if there's anything else, we buy it as is. We saw it, we like it, and we buy it as is. Sellers are gonna feel much better knowing that you're not gonna come up with something crazy during that attorney review period, okay? Mortgage contingency, if your lender declines your mortgage application, you can get off the deal, right? You know that. So many people, what they do, it happened not so much in Chicago, but it happened to us a lot in Dallas. There's a lot of people from California who comes, and some people come with a lot of cash, So they say, I want to buy your property with the mortgage, right? But if for any reason the mortgage doesn't work, don't worry, I got cash, I'll buy it. So I'm going to honor the dates that I'm sending you. I want to waive the mortgage contingency. If my lender declines it, I still buy it. If you got the capabilities, maybe that's something for you, okay? Appraisals. Some people, they feel so strong about certain properties that they will say, that's something very for those markets that are getting crazy, There's a lot of people moving from the north states, especially crazy states like New York, California, where you have the lockdowns, you have all these crazy taxes, all this crazy regulation. Many people are, economically refugees fleeing to Florida, to Nevada, Arizona, Texas, all those good states with more friendly regulations, So that you have this massive migration, so prices are just skyrocketing and soaring. They used to be very affordable markets, but right now it's all getting all crazy, right? So what happened is people in California are used to all these bidding wars. So for them, it's nothing. Like for someone, let's say in Texas, the same example, a property that is $800,000 is a decent sized property. I expect a lot for that money. In California, $800,000 doesn't give you much. You cannot buy so much of a house with that. So they're used to sending $900,000 for that type of properties. So sometimes what happens if you buy with a loan, if the price is $800 and you're offering $900, there's a gap of $100,000. Sometimes the appraisal is not going to appraise $900,000 because it's too much for that market, right? So many people are waiving that right to kill the deal because of that. And they tell the seller, hey seller, I don't care. If it goes over that, I pay you out of pocket. Okay? That's another trick. If you can, again, if you have the cash, you have the willingness, if you really need to move to a certain district where your kids are gonna have the schools that you want, or you will really wanna be walking distance to your work, or I don't know, your mom lives across the street, whatever is the reason, okay? I just wanna give you all these input things that can work depending on your situation, Number 5, just offer more earnest money. The earnest money, you will get it back at closing. If for any good reason the transaction gets broken, you will get your earnest money back. But it just shows that you are more solid as a buyer. To some people, like I particularly don't care about earnest money. Some people offer $1,000 earnest money, and that's too little, So you want to maybe offer something more meaningful, like 3% of the purchase price. I think that's something more legit. It looks better. Number 6, show a strong down payment. You probably from my other videos, that I'm very. I propose all the time. I think the optimum price, the efficiency point for a mortgage loan is for you to put 20% down, because your payments are going to be a little bit lower, but mostly because you're going to avoid PMI, you're going to avoid mortgage insurance, right? So I strongly suggest that if you can, again, don't put 5 or 10%, put 20% down. It's gonna look better. People are gonna think that you're more solid, and the likelihood that that your loan doesn't go through, doesn't make it to underwriting, to closing, then it's gonna be better. So show that if you can. Okay. Finally, other considerations: the appraisal. Okay. What's been happening is that people are getting crazy. So let's say that the property sales price is $1 million. Now let's say that getting offers, bam, 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 you know, and one of the offers goes 1,050,000, 1,100,000, 1.2, right? So if people are buying with loans, the appraisal, people submit their applications, they get executed contract. The bank is going to run an appraisal of the price. The bank want to make sure that the collateral is in line with the price. They don't want to borrow you more money than what the property is worth, right? So they're going to run an appraisal to make sure that if you guys are agreeing seller and buyer at 1.2, the property at least is appraised at 1.2. Sometimes the appraisal comes shorter, and then buyers and sellers need to make a determination. Say, well, what do you want to do now? Yeah, you offer me, I was asking 1 million and you offer me 1.2. Then I ditch everybody else. Well, what do you want to do? The bank is just only gonna lend me over 1.1. So it's $100,000 difference. All right, let's meet halfway. That's one possibility. Or the seller is gonna say, you know what? I don't need to do this. I have people waiting for me with cash. I don't need the drama of an appraisal. Or they will say, listen, I have nobody else, so, well, 1.1 is what it is, okay? So the appraisal curves the market, and I think different from the last crisis that we have in 2008, where appraisals were out of whack, it was anything flies, right? I think this time there's more check and balances in the whole system. That's why I'm not so, I think there's gonna be a price adjustment, cyclically, within the market, like a systemic adjustment of the prices, but it's not going to be so dramatic as what happened in 2008. Okay, so I gave you 6 tips. I hope that they really help. I really appreciate your comments, and please click the subscribe button, like this video, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thank you.